And define everything going on. I guess, with the playoffs, certainly puts a different spin on this race and Talladega racing, but I also feel like the way these cars have seemed to race on speedway tracks probably change what we would define as a normal Talladega race.
Do you think there's anything different with after like Bowman, Kurt Busch, and some of the other drivers complaining?
The way I see it, we're here to race. I think that's everyone's default. I think it's just an understanding from teams and drivers what we can do better, and from there, not much I can do about it this weekend. I got playoffs to worry about.
Then how do you approach the Roval too? Because you still haven't had any playoff drivers win, so there's at least 6 that are going to be making it on points. So with you kind of on that cushion right there, how do you approach the next 2 weekends?
Yeah, obviously the Roval's a great opportunity. Talladega's a great opportunity. I think for both ways, I think strategy for the Roval is something that's pretty challenging to navigate. What do you value more, track position or stage points, and how confident do you feel like you can come through the field? I think that's a big talking point, but God, that feels like a year away from now. So
obviously the talk of the week is with Bowman and then the crashes and things like that. Is it odd to come into Talladega, a place where we're usually concerned about crashing, and it may not be as severe because the bigger hits don't seem to be as much of an issue?
I think it's hard to have that opinion. Obviously, there's been some fairly small impacts, some fairly big impacts, but I think each one's probably unique. But to your point, I mean, this type of racing has crashes. It's 100%. It was interesting looking at Talladega versus Daytona. Daytona has been actually less of a track position race as Talladega was earlier this year, and just everybody getting strung out on the bottom and the top. So interested to see how that plays into the race, but certainly kind of out of my control in a lot of areas. But just make sure we're prepared, and as a team, we've done everything we can do to make my office as safe as possible.
You just mentioned the race here earlier this year. That race was relatively calm for Talladega standards. I think all of stage 3 ran in green. Is there any chance we see that again tomorrow?
I think it could happen without a doubt, and you get the fast cars out front. I think that could happen. I think that's what you saw earlier this year. The 43 car, the 23 were really fast, and they got out front and really strung out the pack. So I think that could happen. I mean, I lost the draft. Granted, I had damage, but something you're not used to seeing. So I think keeping an open mind for tomorrow's race will be important.
How do you as a team prepare for something like that, like team orders or anything like that, just trying to help each other out to survive something like that?
Well, we're all still in the playoffs. I think track position is important. So being able to get the pit strategy right when green flag stops present themselves, I think is going to be critically important. And being able to position yourself, take the right moves when they count, and be able to keep that track position, I think is going to be more important than in the past year.
Have you experienced the rear end impacts, and what's that kind of felt like from your end?
I had a left rear tire go down at Charlotte, and that was a big hit for sure. I mean, I can't say that many of my other rear impacts in my career have been overly memorable, and but I think that's clearly been identified as a weakness of the car even before Kurt. Obviously with Alex now, so I'm not saying something that people don't know and that's not already being worked on right now, but it's the cards we're dealt for until that work kind of bears fruit.
You kind of hit on this, but how do you feel about the next 2 weeks? Your road course racing speaks for itself, and then you won the 500 this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's 2 big opportunity races, an opportunity to gain and lose points tomorrow, obviously an opportunity to win a race if we make it to the end, and I think the Roval, I can't say I've been as satisfied as I wish I could be with our road course program so far this year. We've been solid. We just haven't been, I don't think we've had race winning speed yet, and that's something I'm pretty hungry for, ready to be aggressive to try and find during the week. So otherwise, yeah, 2 great opportunity races that I think we can perform well at.
Road course program is probably better than most. I think you got 4 top 10s there this year, 4 or 5.
Yeah, consistency is obviously great, but
yeah.
I want to win, man. I mean, it's every week you want to win, but I feel like there's some stuff we're leaving on the table at those races, and we've had I think we've been out of the top 10 in one race, and I'd say that's my fault just from speeding on pit road and putting ourselves in a bad spot. But otherwise, I think it's important to keep going, because we haven't had race winning speed with any of us, not just me. So.
Is there a sense of urgency because you don't want to go into next week of we have to win, or or crash or win your race. Is there a sense of urgency this week with that?
Yes and no. I mean, not any more than any other week. We thought Texas was going to be the calm weekend, and here we are. So I don't think there's any way to predict that. But this race and the style of racing, obviously, there's a lot out of your hands, and I think your destiny is going to be pretty well solved of what you're going to have to do at Charlotte next week.
Jared Haas with Frontstretch.com. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, check one of those 2 videos out that we have right beside you. Visit Frontstretch.com for more great content.